ways, yeah. See, like with artists, keep dissing, yeah.
Dissing.
Artists that come from where we come from, I don't ever really want to see them on their album covers. I don't want to see album covers that reflect America. I don't mind it reflecting. If you come from an African country, I don't mind it reflecting that. Let's say, for example, I was watching Chifa has got something on YouTube, and he was talking to Clint. Clint is he's getting this jewelry made, yeah. And you know, like, obviously Clint does kind of idealize elements of that paid in full thing or whatever. You see it, you can see the just his style and whatever. And he was looking at getting a lion, and it's like the lion represents, what's his name, Ace. Yeah, Ace had the lion chain or whatever. He's chatting to his girl and whatever else, yeah. And he was saying he wanted that. So at first, obviously I hear it, I understand why he's doing that or whatever else, yeah. But the thing that I thought resonated the most is that he talked about the fact that the lion represents a tribe in Nigeria, yeah. And if you see that, and then it also showed a picture of Skepta actually wearing he was like in his traditional outfit, and it had the lions all over it. Yeah. That there, I'm saying, see, I like that for me personally. Okay. So if I see now an artist that has an album cover that references Kobe Bryant or like references fucking, I don't know, like just one of those iconic moments over there, it's kind of cool. But I'm like, there's many of these guys over there that are doing that. Like, what is the cool thing? What is the cool equivalent that you could do over here? Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Sorry to even go off on one. Okay. Even with samples, bro. With samples, like music samples. I'm like, there has been a long period of music. There's like a whole catalogue of music from back in the day that we have classics of, yeah? Mm-hmm. We don't need to sample a flipping Dead Presidents now. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Or a Nas thing or whatever. We could sample an old Kano. You get what I'm saying? We could sample an old Black Twang.
But then, can I ask you a question? Does age come into play? Because you do R&B. And I think there's a couple of reasons why I think you're so great at it. One, you're an amazing DJ. So obviously that's going to happen. But two, your music knowledge is fucking ridiculous, bruv. Like across the board. But R&B, you're a specialist within it because you grew up in the time, so you know the feel. So as you get older, it's very easy for you to kind of, although I hear where you're coming from, like look at other genres, it's very easy for you to hit muscle memory and go, I don't know, Mary J. Blige, all that I can say, and then go to another, whatever. I think you can do R&B for as easy as you can. So no matter how old you get, that might be the place that you go to do your reflection. Even down to the artwork for R&B slow jams is quite Americanized, but because the genre is American, but we have an appreciation from it because our generation never had enough black artists in the UK the way America did, so there was more options to choose from. So that's our reasons why we love it. That's why I asked, does age come into it? Because if you're a younger demographic, you've probably got about, don't quote me, at least about 5 generations of music from the UK to choose from. Whereas, I mean, you were coming up, we got grime, more. And grime at its adolescence. Yeah. When we're coming up, we've got garage, we've got jungle, we've got soul for real and a couple.
No, we could go. Our generation can go further back because we can go back to reggae foundation.
No, I hate that. But in the UK, for like a boy growing up, you're not gonna go that far back.
The reason why I say we can is because of our parents and our grandparents. So a lot of that is gonna be inspired by that. Do you get what I'm saying? True. Yeah. So on a Sunday, what did we have listening to in our yard? So we're gonna have that. But do you know what? Again, that still speaks to the point of what I'm saying. That's still where we come from, though. It's still where we come from. So even though you may not be able to go as far back as that, you still got some cool shit to go back to. Because let's say if you're 21, 19, 20, 21 or whatever, yeah, you may only go as far back as, I don't know, maybe like, you could even say that second wave then. Say like when Skep and them lot started coming back outside or whatever, like That's Not Me or whatever. There's still bare things you can take from that, you know.
No, I'm with you.
That's still cold.
But I just think
because that might have been what you grew up on.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you get what I'm saying? So you're going off of what you grow up on, what you've grown up on, yeah. And ultimately, that even if you're a young buck from here, regardless of what's going on in America, in fact, bro, when we was youths, let's do this old man thing. When we was youths, yeah.
Hey, old man time. Hey, all the uncles and aunties join in. Let's go.
The guys that were absolutely smashing it and that people might have wanted to idealize was probably the American man then, because obviously that was like they were showing a level of success that we just never had over here. Then everyone else that was doing grime and rap and whatever was just doing it for fun, really. Do you know what I'm saying?
And maybe when the Americans ever said they're coming over here, there was a level of excitement from everyone, like who can link up with them and all of that. So
yeah,
there was a level of huge respect for them. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So we were just doing it just for fun, essentially, as well as like some people trying to get out of the hood, whatever, just do something different and whatever. But ultimately, it was just cool shit that we was just around that ended up becoming a thing. The business ended up getting involved. People then start, and then you understand what happens from that point, yeah. But then let's say now, the things are different. Look at my brother now. My brother is 19 years old, yeah? When I ask him like who's some of his favourite artists, a lot of the times he's going to tell me, man, from here. When I ask him about old school artists, he's going to tell me about old school artists from here.
Oh, I've got another reason why it could be happening as well. Because I am with you. I prefer everyone to just use authentically black British things as well as maybe Jamaican, Caribbean.
Yeah, like where you come from.
Rather than Americanized. But culture is more than 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Much more than that. And the reason why you fall in love with things within culture, like the reason why you might love a rapper in culture is not because of music. In culture, you have the ability to fall in love with artists because of so many other reasons other than music. In like other genres, maybe it's just the music. But in culture, you might like the way a brother dresses. I like the way he talks and the way he regulates. And then you try and give his music a listen, and then you'll give it more of a listen because you respect that individual from a cultural standpoint of the way he dresses. He dresses cool, his slang's cool. And then you got to take a look at what we're exposed to as young kids as well. The culture of Americanized. We're watching Americanized. If you want to watch an American sports, it's American films, and it's just loads of black people. We didn't have loads of black films over here like that. I could relate to. It was more America. So then that's you get in. You watch Paid in Full. Now you see Cameron. Oh God, that's cool. Now you're gonna go and watch Oh Boy, it's Cameron or Horse and Carriage. Or now you're in the music. So the entry points are crazy. In the UK, the entry point was really just music for time up until today, where you can like Clint, and obviously may have a problem with H, but you will like AJ Tracy, and then do you know what I'm saying? There's connectivities now with the fashion, even the slang. When DBE started saying, what was that thing that they kept saying that they stole from East London though? I do know that. There was a terminology that they kept using. It was like a slang that they kept using. I've forgotten it, but it was so UK that if you say it in the playground, who said that? Oh, DBE. That's not. I didn't have that growing up. That's any true. Slang you hear. It's American, guys. Beef, all of that stuff is all American, bro. So,
but here's the thing. It's interesting that you even mentioned DBE, yeah, because this is why this is cold. When we grew up, what did we know D Block as?
Oh my God!
Do you get what I'm saying? And now if I ask my brother, D Block, who do you think he's gonna say? He's gonna say them man. Do you get what I'm saying? So
rate
it's
them
different.
Man for making it big though. Rate them man for sustaining.
Yeah, 100%.
Shout out them man.
100%. I remember. I'll keep it all the way real. Yeah.
Go on.
The way these lot have won me over is in a world class way. Because at first, you see, when I saw D Block Europe, I'm saying, especially me I'm a Chic Luch guy, you know.
Oh no way.
Yeah, I used to love Chic Luch.
Gangster, you know.
And also obviously Styles P and that as well. Gangster and the Gentleman is one of my favourite rap albums of all time for me personally. Yeah, I got some deep emotional connections to that. So when I'm hearing about D Block Europe and that, I'm saying, what is this?
I hear you.
I'm like, what is this? But then obviously I'm seeing what they're doing and I'm like, you know what? At first I'm kind of on a vibe of, I don't know, man. Then I'm kind of on a vibe of, hey. Ads was cold.
Do you know why I always had one? Because of ads though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I loved ads. And this is why I say to you today, the entry points. I love ads because I watched him rapping from a long period of time. Didn't see it for a little bit. And then come back as a superstar. I'm like, yo. And he probably didn't even come back. Just come back to my vision. I'm like, yo, ads is crazy. But you see LB. Bro. I find him hilarious, bro. When you see him on the gram and the things that he does, that was my entry point to saying, you know what? DBE epitomised all of the reasons why I liked things back in the day. So I loved Mace because when you would watch MTV and see him behind the scenes or what have you, he's always with a fly gal.
Yeah.
He always dressed crisp. He didn't really say much. He was cool.
Yeah.
Like, do you know, before I even heard, tell me what you want from, I'm in.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm coming?
yeah,
And that was like, the D-Block Europe have that, that's it, know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hear bare man in East London say that, do you know what I'm saying? But
Some of that though, if I'm keeping it 100, some of that I don't love.
okay, fair
If I'm being honest, some of that I don't love.
because it's quite Americanized, you're saying.
Yes.
But
Because that's where it goes. This is why I'm going on my phone quickly because I'm
But
just
they're
like,
not saying
let me just
it-
have a look at their artwork. I just wanted to just have a look at their artwork.
DBE.
But, yeah, because I wanted to see if it was like that too.
remember,
But it
they
isn't.
do like, but they do like auto-tune and so on. They do an Americanized sound. So for them to have Americanized elements, I don't mind. But I think for a group that does Americanized sounds, I proper associate them as British guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Like proper associate them as British guys. Like really do, bro. Like their struggles and their situations that they've gone through. If you've lived in a similar type of estate or so on and so forth, super could understand and super could see it. Super relatable, bro. Like they're super authentic to the UK.
Yeah, and their artwork
Listen.
is cool still. I think there's only two, if I'm being nitpicky.
Yeah.
The street drama gives me the American mixtape vibe and the blueprint as well. Us versus them. But I think that obviously it's intentional, it's cool. Yeah. I don't want to divert too much from it, but
Sorry.
like this was even like was you gonna say
I was
something?
just gonna say one thing because you were saying about like the young people and obviously their influences obviously might be a bit more like the entry points are different. But I was saying that Jim Legacy, who's also young,
Amazing.
I believe he's even under like 24, let alone, and he's from Lewisham. His whole thing's Black British music.
I love that as well.
That's all these.
But this is
Black
the thing.
British music.
Ultimately, if I'm gonna pose an argument, essentially somebody of that generation, that just should be their thing. For us, it was different because again, we didn't have the examples of what. Do you know what success looked like? In my mind, success looked like the first person who made me see and feel success, Mega Man.
Mega Man.
For me.
I hear you.
That makes sense.
And do you know what? Before that, Skibbity.
Do you know
Them
what-
jungle MCs and I don't know, like who's a garage MC that was fucking popular. Like them man to me were like these lot were guys, and then Mega Man came true. Like even Fonty and Bushkin and Mighty Mo from Heartless Crew. I used to look at them and the way that they dressed and whatever and thought they're not they don't got the American success, but they got that success of like we rate these man here. Like these man do their thing here. And they look like they were making big bread. Now again, in hindsight, probably was making obviously some bread and stuff like that, but it wasn't like hundreds of thousands or whatnot, the way that we might have seen the way that Diddy and who else was doing whatever. You see, like my little brother, for example, now I know I keep mentioning him because, you know, I mean, he's a music head and that too. He would look at like, he could turn around and look at, and we mention his name so much, we have to stop mentioning his name at some point. But obviously we rate him. But it's like he will look at Skepta and say, "This is what success looks like." And we can all say that now, but we saw what that looked like before. Just guys that were just in the room, just doing whatever it was that they were doing.
But this is what's so amazing. There's so many entry points right now. There's so much different rooms that you can be in. Success can look like so much different things. Whereas it's very restricted back in the day.
Exactly.
If you're on top of the pops, my head's gone.
Yeah.
When I saw an article from Dizzy Rascal saying, "I'm never gonna go on top of the pops," but he was a star. He opens up for Jay-Z. He won that. What's that award that he won? And everyone went to his house afterwards, and he was just in the hood. Like Dizzy Rascal to me was a star.
Mercury?
Then when I saw him do Mercury he won the Mercury,
that was
and all the press went to his house, and he was just on some like this guy
That
to
was a
me
big
was
deal.
a real star. When I saw him do that Lucky Star record, there's I can't remember who the producer is, but there's a song called Lucky Star, and he's on top of the pops, and I'm seeing a full-blown baggy academics tracksuit with a man saying, "What?" I just said, "Yo, how is the guy with UK slang, all of that, just on top of the pops, unapologetically being himself?" So that's when I first saw a star to me. Dizzy was the first person I recognized as, "Oh my God, you're a star."
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because you were like he was my age, bro. I'm like, how are you like 17, 18 and you're killing it? Like, it's not like I was expecting the Wileys and all maybe the older people to have sort of open up for Jay-Z. It was Dizzy Rascal, but he still had American elements to him. He had academics tracksuits. Was it called academic?
Yeah. I had one.
Baggy things.
Yeah. I had
7
one
people
of them.
can wear it at the
They
same
look
time.
crazy on me.
Oi, they must have looked like bed sheets on Chuckie, fam.
Brother, I basically just wore the top.
I was wearing a long dress. This is mad, Chuckie. Hey, Chuckie, remember Lot 29? Fam, they were baggy clothes, bro.
Yeah.
So imagine me. You know, like them metal hangers?
Yeah.
That was me. I didn't put it on and wear outside. I put it on in the shop and said, nah, what is... You know, there's bare space. I said, no, it's not for me, man. Not for me.
You see, Mega, Romeo, and Neutrino, yeah? These were the first guys that would walk into, like, I remember they'd come to, like, an under 18 that we was doing, and people would be like...
Mad thing.
You know, like, when you hear... You see, like, when you hear...
I won't lie.
Like, 700 people go... Bro, it's mad.
Just sounds like breath.
Yeah, and bearing in mind, obviously, Heartless Crew was doing their thing. They was like everyone's favourite and whatnot, yeah? But when Romeo, Neutrino, and Mega walked in, it was like...
Yeah.
It was just different. But you know what? Again, even with the point that I'm making is that now, obviously, I know that there's some older heads, people that are older than me, that's going to say, obviously, there's a catalogue way before all of that. Of course, there is. There's stuff going on from early 90s, late 80s, and whatever. Yeah, but just from what I've experienced and whatnot, I can say from a certain point onwards, yeah, there are so many classic, like black British rhythms that have come out that could do a wicked sampling. Could you imagine somebody flipping 21 seconds?
Can you imagine someone...
Do you know what I'm saying? Just the sound. You know, I'm not talking about getting bare people on it. I'm just talking about someone just did flipping reproduced element. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you, you know. When we first like Vibba, you might remember, I was flipping Lonyo, Summer of Love. Flowers. Like, we just wanted to flip
100%.
Omen.
Yeah.
We wanted to flip every UK rhythm because we were so in love with the UK sonics.
That Lonyo thing. Oh my God.
Summer of Love. That was...
Summer of Love. I mean, is it in? Oh,
the way we flipped Summer of Love, I was so happy. Like, we flipped that and it sounded so authentically English that when we put it out, we had an older generation of people are saying, wait a minute, how did you not know that song? And then we had, like, obviously the younger people thinking it was fresh and new to them because it sounded so British. Yeah. This song is ridiculous, bro. I first saw this song on The Big Breakfast at 7:30 in the morning as a music video, and I went ballistic. Drop. Are you mad?
Yeah.
It's one of them. This rhythm, so I hear what you're...
Are you two are tough, Do you know what is funny? Sorry to the sidetrack, yeah. But that's what I like. You know when someone creates a vibe and then you follow the vibe and you match it and then you move into it.
They're in sync. They done it earlier, like 20 minutes earlier.
Oh, when he came in?
Yeah, as soon as you came in.
Nah, do you know what? It's an interesting conversation though, because even Broken Silence, that was one of my favourite songs from So Solid. If someone sampled Broken Silence, who knows what could happen? So yeah, I agree. Let's sample more UK music. Even the music video of this, man, this is just levels, bro. Actually, he just come out of prison.
Yeah.
I saw him in the video.
Someone also actually while we're here,
It's supposed to be like,
Yo, crazy.
someone has to sample this thing at some point.
you know what? Don't. I remember like
Around the times when things were going well, when we had to pack guns and then Asher went jail, and then couple months down the line, me and Morgs thinking about my nigga doing mad time and his mums. And I hugged her, I don't know how it came around like this. Then she looked and said, look after the album, Swiss, and make sure that you learn something out of this. And the thought of it makes me wanna, that's a lonely son. Take away a boy from his mother, that's a lonely mum. Protect yourself with a loaded gun, that's one of the rules, and that's the only one.
So,
But yeah, do you know what? I'm with you. And shout out Elijah, an advocate. I saw him the other day in Shoreditch. I told him to come to the pod, forward to the pod.
100%.
Chuckie is somebody that showed me Elijah a very, very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
Very long time ago because of the sticky notes.
Yeah.
Ages ago. But I think the most interesting thing that he has done as of recent, and he does a lot of interesting things, was just the way he stuck it on radio.
100%.
And every day he's tweeting, and I'm up early. I can show you me jogging at 6:30 now.
He's saying radio stations and that, all of them, including the one I'm on, is playing Ja Rule and all of this type of stuff. And it's
Joe
like,
Budden,
it's like,
pump it up at 7:34 in the
do you
morning.
know what? This is also the point too. This is the wider point. There's a back catalogue of music, that can get played again.
So pause. Pause
From
there.
here.
Pause there. We're blaming the younger generation, but then the people that have the opportunities, and I don't know who's responsible for it, are playing Joe Budden at 7:34 in the morning when people are going to school. How can we expect them to be influenced by the UK music if the places that are meant to be putting it on, at least the older songs, they're not doing it? Why do we not hear Broken Silence, 21 Seconds to Go? Why are we not hearing old Miss Dynamite records? Why are we not hearing this song, Omar?
Yeah,
There's
without it actually being a segment.
Yeah.
Because you get what I'm saying? Like when you hear those tunes, it's a segment.
Or a
So
specialist DJ
we're
who
going
has
to
to
go
play.
back into time and we're going to play these special free songs. It's like, we don't do that with Pump It Up Joe Budden. That just gets a regular spin.
I flung it.
That'll just get a regular spin.
And this nigga stop rapping.
Yeah.
This nigga, everyone at home. Sorry for eating.
Elijah used to have a pod as well.
I'm sorry for my t-shirt being creased. Carry on.
He used to have a pod as well back in the day where he was like just chatting to Grime MCs and whatever. He did a really good one with D Double from back in the day.
He said he's gonna
really
come on the
good,
pod,
man.
though.
He's really good. He's just got really good insight. Do you know what I like about Elijah is that I think that he has solutions. He doesn't just say problems.
Do you know what though?
He says what he thinks should happen.
I like the fact that I don't even necessarily think people need to have solutions, but
You don't have to, but I like the fact that he does. That's what I mean.
100%.
Yeah.
But I do love even more, and I encourage this for people to identify that this is a problem. I don't like the fact that people second guess things because of an individual in a higher position can justify it with nonsense. I like when people go, nah, the way I've been raised and the principles that I have, this is wrong. And the longer you take that journey, then you can become an Elijah with a solution. At the start, you just need to know that something's wrong here. And then start investigating on how you can get it right. And I think, Joe Budden at 7:34 a.m. in the morning, there's something wrong there. Like, why are we eating Weetabix?
7:34.
7:34.
So specific.
Man's having toast.
That's radio for you as well.
That's
now.
radio for you. I'm telling you, like, man's eating scrambled egg toast and hearing pump, pump, pump. Nah, man.
Yeah, it stinks.
That stinks, bro. I'm trying to, you get me? So, Elijah, we're going to hit you up, took your number, pause, bring it to the pod.
I gotta say thank you to you guys though. You've made me feel young today.
You're an Egypt. Shout out Shaq in the building, man.
Is there anything else, any other tunes though that you feel could like be,
What's the question?
you'd like to be
Flipped.
flipped?
What songs would I like to see flipped?
I actually think I know, Hold on.
I want to see a light skinned girl on the road.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, in a cool way though. Yeah.
Imagine you just took that quote and you sampled that quote and then you took a couple other quotes from the song. Because he mentions bare different gal you want to see. Just the light skin one was just funny.
Yeah.
Like, do you think what you were discussing is a pride problem?
Pride.
As in most of the people who are in the positions that there are now, ability to play music on a wider scale.
Yeah.
Right? Radio DJs, etc. Like they were in the same position that we're talking about now as they were growing up. But now that they're in a position to make a change, and potentially not making that specific change, and then being told and drawn out essentially by like people like Elijah saying that like, yo, like you need to put on UK more. Do you think there's a pride in them that's stopping them from doing that?
No.
Or do you think it's bigger than that?
No, what are you talking about in terms of radio stations?
Right. Yes.
No. So I think what's happening is, this is just through a couple of meetings and stuff that I've heard, is that, see, like with radio stations, especially stations like Capital, they are ad-driven radio stations. So they make a lot of revenue through ads and stuff like that, Now, the revenue that they will make will be based upon the amount of listeners that they have, Sure. And they feel as though that an element of, how do they put it? It's like an element of familiarity. If you provide a level of familiarity, you are more likely to keep people's attention. Whereas if you give them stuff that they don't know, then they're more likely to switch off. So their method is, you know what we'll do is we'll give all of this familiarity and we might fling in one. We're flinging one. And then before that person can even think about saying, I don't know about this one, I'm going to switch, then they give you back Joe Budden or whatever.
Right.
But I think, so the problem essentially is business and money.
It's bigger than the people.
It's business and money that's got in the way, And so obviously someone's come up with this formula, and this formula seems to work because, you know, you hear, for example, Capital will always usually talk about their numbers. 1Xtra's numbers are not great at the moment, or not as good as they used to be, whereas Capital are absolutely flying. They're like 2 million a month or some great something like that. So in their minds, the people in the offices, they're thinking, well, this formula is working, we're just going to keep doing it. Right. But you probably need to have somebody, you need to have maybe two types of people. One person who's somewhere where their ears to the ground, they understand what's going on, and they're like fighting the cause to make sure that, you know what, that back catalogue of music, for example, that Elijah might even talk about, still should be getting played in the mix of this. But you also need one of the people that are one of the higher ups who are very likely to not be where we're from, not care about our culture whatsoever. They're just there to see numbers tick over. We would need somebody who has a little bit more of an open mind that will say, you know what, prepared to sacrifice a little bit of numbers to make for the bigger purpose. But for them, they may not even see nothing as a bigger purpose. Their bigger purpose might be a different thing. Their bigger purpose might just be, we got 2 million, let's try and get 10.
So, Chuckie, can I ask you a question? When do we, as a group of people, start showing a bit more sense of pride of what we have and start trying to protect it a little bit more? Because that means that there's a misrepresentation at a Capital Extra. Let's just say the quote that you gave was right and they have 2 million listeners. Chuckie, there's not even 2 million black people living in England.
Yeah.
So if you are misrepresenting, quote unquote, urban or that demographic, sonical experience to a group of new people, and there's 2 million of them, fam, we're being misrepresented. I'm going to have people that not even from my walk of life tell me what my music is. Because this is mad. You think I can walk up to a Turkish man and tell him what Turkish traditional music is? You think I can walk up to a Russian man and tell him what Russian traditional music is? My nigga, I can't even walk up to a white man and tell him what Oasis is. So, like, I don't understand how with our genre of music is being watered down so much now that to a certain extent, we're having to fight to have songs like Broken Silence and all these things played on radio today as things that were part of our history, our past. You just want to give us Joe Budden.
Do you know what the maddest thing is,
and
Poe?
even Alicia Keys.
Sorry to cut you, but you know what the interesting thing is, I don't even think that there's been a fight until recent. Until like someone like Elijah stepped and said,
no, that's my point.
There hasn't even been a fight. So they've just been doing it.
But that's my thing. Like, why are we, like, I don't understand as a group of people why we are just, I'm not asking everyone to be as crazy as me, because I understand I've lost the plot on several levels in my life. But Chuckie, in the biggest room, in any space, in any radio station, I'm telling the man what it is. On God, under the eyes of the Lord, on Zion and Khalifa's life. That is what it is. So when I went to Mobiles, for example, Mobiles back in the day, the reason why we have a frosty relationship is because they tried to make rap and grime one category, as we've spoken about before, and it was only me and Mitch defending it in a room of 60 people that will today tell you it never happened, and there was no cameras, so maybe it didn't with 2025 technology or logic. So my whole thing is, I don't think as a group, like you said, we're not fighting enough. And I think people will say black this, black that, but you give them a drop on Capital tomorrow, they're fucking over there. And I'm not here to say that's right, I'm not here to say that's wrong, but I'm saying if you're going to be a part of the culture, it's more than just taking. You have to give something, and it has to be something that you may not even get a return from. That's the way it's. So like what Elijah's doing overtime right now. You, R&B, and then you're doing overtime right now. But I just think more people need to galvanate, especially the people in the biggest positions, and they need to start being a little bit more honest and forget like you said, numbers, because there's not 2 million black people living in England, I don't think. So
no, I think people need to be there is.
I mean London, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's not England, London.
I think
so
that
stupid. Of course there is.
I think that people just need to just be enlightened, because most people just don't know. And so, you know, I think a light solution is that people like Elijah have bigger platforms to discuss what he sees happening, for people to turn around and say they don't agree, or they are like, oh shit, I didn't even, oh, is that what's going on? Oh, we kind of need to do something. Because for now, most people do not look at things the way that we do. Ultimately, the reason why this pod is here is because we discuss things from beneath the surface, innit?
Yeah.
But most people see things surface level. And most people ultimately, even going to that method that is being used and that sort of works, is that people are quite robotic, innit? And they do lean more to what is familiar to them. And so if you don't give them another option, they don't really know that there's another option. They don't know there's another option.
They've never even put their mind in that space to try and figure out what else you can do.
Exactly.
And that's another problem. I just think, to be honest with you, it's so funny that we're having this conversation. The way I think about UK black culture on a whole, Chuckie, for the first time in a long time, it's in a terrible place.
Oh my God, it's bad.
Like,
bro.
it's really bad.
It's really bad.
Like, the one thing I used to like about the culture that we're from, you put on FIFA, what FIFA would it have been? Maybe 2013, before that actually. When we had, way before that, when you had a Miss Dynamite on there. And I'm playing FIFA, and I'm hearing, it's Miss Dynamite, you see me busting on. That's too much culture coming through FIFA. I'm staying in FIFA now. And no disrespect to some of the artists that you might hear today, but they've watered down the black experience through me playing FIFA now. 100% to cater it towards whatever they want. And I'm not saying they're right, I'm not saying they're wrong, but I would like to know why it's happening. Yeah. I would love to know. Like, even a couple of years ago, I heard Cold Radical on there. That's what I want to hear with Water. That's a nice compromise. Like, can we have some of that as well, please? No, we're just gonna get rid of all of that and just put all of these 140 BPM. It's just like, I just think for the younger generation growing up, there's an experience that they deserve to have. There really is an experience they deserve to have, which allows them to feel very comfortable and very happy being whatever they are.
But there probably is a creative problem too, though.
The creative problem comes
from...
But the creative problem is clear. It's like this though, Chuckie. So when we were coming up, they said you're not allowed in. So we created a room to let us in. Now they say you're allowed in, but these are the rules. And everyone just follows the rules. And then now you're changing the black experience so much that, cause I don't even recognize half these people that are doing what they're doing. I'm like, usually there was a method to the madness. There was a goal. There was something you were working towards. There was a reason for it happening. Now niggas just let you know, like, I just see content today, like, just in the bathroom, no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares. What does this got to do with anything with the price of salt? Like, got it wrong the other day.
Are you are...
I like Chuckie.
We love saying this word, by the way, but you're in a place of privilege because when you looked inside that room, when you were finally allowed inside that room, you looked inside the room, you said, nah, I'm doing my own thing. And you done your own thing, and now it's your rules, innit? But to be honest with you, you told me my experience. I think that's a bit unfair. Let me tell you what happens. What actually happened?
EA, man.
Oh! Am I wrong there, Chuckie?
No, but you keep saying his government name.
Oh, sorry.
Third episode, by the way.
I apologise. That was wrong. EA. I gifted you that name, Geezer.
Exactly.
So EA.
You that name?
You did.
What? So you could take it away now?
I like that one, bro. I like that one. No, but honestly, that's not even how it happened. EA. Like, for me, I never looked at anything over there that made sense to me. The things that I loved was always a little bit rough around the edges. Right. So for me, it was about upscaling that because I felt like that was a more accurate depiction of where I was from than the Simon Webber out of Blue. And Simon Webber, I gotta let you know, I do like you. I think you're amazing, but you was in Blue. Rapper.
Where is he these days?
I saw him the other day at dinner. Amazing guy.
Google where he is. Go on, sorry.
I like Simon Webber. But Chuckie, did you say Google where he is?
That's not what
What kind of technology Chuckie got, boy? His Google's mad.
AI might be able to tell you, but nah, I meant more like what is he doing these days? That's it. But go on anyway.
It's just they're watering down the black experience, bro. They're proper watering it down, and then
who's they?
Whoever the powers that be that have the ability to navigate television, navigate the things that you see on your timeline, people that are in control of cookies, all of those individuals, they are doing a good job, and I rate it. They're watering down the product.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Hopefully, we do get to that stage though, where people are like just musically creative and inspired again, and I do hope that there's like a pool of people that look back in that and say, do you know what? If we're gonna lean into some nostalgia, like what are the nostalgic things that happened back in the day here that we can incorporate into what we're doing today. Like, and I'd love to just see more of that. If we're gonna get into the sampling side of things, like there's so much. There's so much. I'm not saying people should just make projects of just doing one bag of sampling, but I'm just saying that like there's actually a lot, you know.
A lot of music. You're an Egypt, You're an Egypt. But
what's happening here?
Don't worry.
He's gone to Simon Webb's Instagram and just scrolling through
I've
pictures.
just seen bare family and that.
I'm just seeing bare pictures of him and wearing glasses. I rate it.
Quick question.
Coach,
What do we think about Sway, Little Derek? Is that a good song?
Oh, that's
I love that song.
Crazy.
No, that's what I'm talking. Yo,
What I'm talking about.
What?
I'm just
Brother,
Little Derek's doing okay.
Fine.
Little Derek's doing
Cool.
Do you know who listened to that song?
Wait a second. Let me find that.
I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. Google it if I have. If I've been wrong, I was wrong about the Salt song as well. Do you know who messaged him about this song?
Who?
Nipsey Hussle.
Huh?
What?
Sway spoke about a famous rapper messaging him in regards to this song, and he said it was Nipsey Hussle. Now,
It's Sway from North.
yeah,
He's from North London, isn't
yeah,
it?
don't try and claim him.
I remember. I used to see him in West London. And I was going to
Yeah, I
say.
knew
I think it was one of the random. But Sway was
Can I make
like,
that up, by
as
the way?
well. He was on that. Like I remember this particular mixtape and that he was walking around. Was it album? I'm not sure. But he was walking around with it, selling it, and like he was doing his. He was like in his own lane, just doing his thing.
But he had a good team. Shout out Turkish. That was about Decipher, the whole Decipher camp.
yeah.
They had a really. Do you know who was in? I used to always see with Sway when I was younger.
Who?
Chifa.
Swear.
I promise you, Chifa's a legend. You know.
Chief is a jeweler, by the way.
I knew Chifa from so long ago, way before this jewelry thing. He's my mate Dorian's cousin. Shout out Dorian. Chifa is. Was I telling the truth, or was I chatting crap?
What are you doing? Was that say EA?
Little Derek was one of Nipsey's favourite records. It travelled so far for something that wasn't even supposed to be a single.
Crazy.
You see,
Do you know what that means to me? Because I'm a Nipsey. Bro, I was listening
You are?
to Nipsey, when I was listening to Nipsey on the way here. When I'm in a bit of a weird mood and that as well, Nipsey. Anyway,
And you know what that means to me?
Go on.
Don't chat to me when it comes to this knowledge thing.
Yes.
Please,
yeah.
you man,
Sorry.
you don't know what I know.
Because we was a part of that.
What?
Yeah.
I wish the camera caught
Sorry.
Hey, sorry. But yeah, fam. Like, do you know what, Chuckie? You can't lie. This is something in itself, you know. This is almost like a workshop that we could go
Trust
work
me.
along with Elijah. Little Derek's doing
Okay.
Hey,
Little Derek's doing fine. Little Derek's doing cool.
You know how he.
Little Derek's doing okay. Yeah.
Little Derek's doing.
Fine.
Little Derek's doing.
Cool.
You know how we.
Stepped out my house, I'm feeling fresh and
Brand new.
All who did the trimmery and I done the hair. Everything I wear's new. My hat is shit jacket, Puma top box, fresh jeans and Nike cap.
I can see why Nipsey liked it though.
That one there was peak. The
There was a West Coast vibe to that. The jingles.
the skits. The
where
skit at
the-
the end of that is ridiculous.
Mad. Baby Blue was on that song, no?
Yeah, Baby
Yeah.
Blue as
So,
well.
baby, what you
She,
do?
I think she managed the stealth for a bit, you know. You know that?
Is it?
Yeah, she went to America and managed the stealth. So she like must have put her stuff to the side and just went over and did that. But
Do you know what's so mad? I remember 1980.
oh my god, 1980.
Estelle's another one we got to start paying some credit to.
100%.
Estelle,
Go on, what you gonna
Appreciation.
say about that song?
Baby Blue was on at the end of the video. You know, back in the day, another thing people should do. We've done that a few times at Vibba. Play another song at the end of the video. Excite us.
Yeah.
I used to see Timbaland do it back in the day all the time, and American artists. Let's do that. But in this 1980 song, I could do a Sworn Blind. Baby Blue's rapping at the end of it, where they remixed it to go into another tune. So it's so mad that you've gone from collaborating with Estelle to managing her when she's doing American Boy.
Yeah. Do you know, I think with this song as well, yeah, when I listen to it, it just now proper, like, it proper encapsulates a time. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, Lil Derek.
No, 1980.
1980
It's like
years
when
ago,
as soon as I
maybe.
listen to it, it just reminds me of this time. She's here at the moment. We should chat to her still, you know.
I lie. Sit down some with AG, shout out AG. It's so nice and warm, the piano in it, come on.
And she raps, bro.
Alright, so I was gonna get onto this a minute ago.
Biggie!
Hey!
I'd rather listen to this than Joe Budden.
Why can't we hear this?
7:34, exactly.
Do you know what?
I'd rather listen to this.
This episode's called 7:34. What are we listening to at 7:34? It's true. Why can't we hear
She's telling
this?
a real story,
Bro.
She's telling a story.
1980, yeah, that God. Only bad thing about it is she can never lie about her age.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. Yeah,
Ever. Do you know what? It's so mad, yeah. I hated American Boy, but I loved American Boy. So I
I've
loved
got that
American
same
Boy
sort of relationship with that as well.
because it blew her up. It gave her loads of opportunities. She's singing in front of the president, you name it. But cause I heard her rap, fam, I love rap, bro. I wanted you to go, and I just felt like the singing became so big. I don't know if the rap became on a back burner or maybe I wasn't aware enough of some of the music, but I didn't hear much after that, my bro.
Yeah, but she had the going to the American Boy thing. Actually, it's like that for me was. It was I would be split on stuff like that. So, for example, it may not necessarily be for me, but I'm happy for you that this is happening.
So happy.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's amazing
because I understand what this means, or I'm starting to understand what it means anyway. And how that can change her life and put her in certain positions or whatever else, yeah.
She had Kanye West on it.
Exactly. So that's sick. But yeah, at the time I was like, this is not so much for me. But then at the same time, even being a DJ and just doing certain type of clubs at one point, it's like you run that rhythm and it's just going off. And that's one of them tunes that you had to play to Kanye's part, like all the way to the end.
He had Ribena. He said Ribena.
Yeah. That's one thing I have to say I did like that about Kanye's verse actually, was just that like, he didn't try to make it American. It was like, oh no, I've been to the UK and these are the things that I've noticed. Yeah. And he put that in the verses, isn't it? And
I liked Ribena because you could just do surface value like we were speaking about today. Surface value, English stuff, and just say bloke and all of that. Yeah. Ribena's a different thing.
Yeah, 100%.
That's in Black Homes. When you're young at 7:34, you probably had that with a warm water.
All right then.
Okay.
See when she sang, no? See when she sang, no?
Oh my God, I forgot about this rhythm.
See when she sang, no? Hey, this is going to be demonetized. It has to be.
Banger!
Mad.
Do you know what, saying that?
Perfect for that.
Do you know what, yeah? They need to start understanding. I think what the UK needs to understand is the purpose of certain music at certain times. So me and Chuckie can go, Chuckie said it today, on a Sunday I heard these types of rhythms.
Yes.
So why are we not now playing, because in the morning you could hear them types of rhythms as well. My mum might play that in the morning. So I want to hear Highly in the morning. I don't think I'm asking too much. At 7:34, why can't we play Highly? He's dropping consistent, good rhythms that fit that moment in the morning. They fit it.
But here's the interesting conversation, and we did discuss this time ago.
Go on, family.
What people listen to on a Sunday morning at one point is different to what it is today. So I grew up, if you was in my household on a Sunday morning, I don't even need to tell you because you already know what I'm listening to.
Come on, family.
And I believe that if I had a family today, elements of that tradition is staying with me because it means so much to me.
100%, bro.
However, though, the reality is that there are some people whose, you know what? Their grandparents, for example, was born in the UK. And their mum also then was born here.
Yeah.
So then it's like, naturally, what then is played around the house is very different. Which still is a descendant. Because it's like, you can say, all right, boom, like, some people's mums or dads and that, in the house, just bare garage and that was getting played. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because that was their thing. That was their thing. But now,
garage on a Sunday morning is.
But there's
I know
rhythms.
It could happen.
There's rhythms, bro. Like there's not, because remember, garage isn't necessarily just all the flipping. You know what I'm saying? Jump stuff. There's like certain style of garage that can get just more mellow, and you may not hear them in a dance. It just is what that is. And then like let's say a youth now who's having a youth now, he might be all 21 years old now. Yeah, what is he listening to? So that 21-year-old now today, what is he listening to? And then in 10 years time or 5 years time, what does that look like in the house?
I'll tell you one
thing. Do you get what I mean?
No, listen, what happens is, what you said to right now is, it just made me think about a journey that I know of. And I'm not here to offend anybody, but if you do get offended, please leave a comment. So my someone I know, white woman from Birmingham, comes down to London, meets a black guy, has a kid. Kid grows up. Dad likes reggae. Dad's not around, but the mum is. Now this kid becomes a man. My brethren, you don't know, shout him out. But on a Sunday, when his dad was playing reggae, because he spent predominantly the time with his mum, he's now a black youth listening to Garage on a Sunday. Not saying that's his specific case. Okay. I'm not here to say that's everybody's case.
Right.
But that's how he got to Garage on a Sunday. They're watering down the experience. I'm just all I'm gonna say.
I think that's the wrong one. I think that's the wrong one.
We kill my friend for this all the time. I've gone to his house. I'm eating ackee and saltfish, and I can hear 140 BPM.
Nah, but remember that.
Nah, get rid of that,
you
man.
Can't do,
get rid of that.
The reason why you can't do that, is because
I told you people will be offended.
when you look at like who was running that was like some of our elders. EZ, black. Norris the Boss Windross, black. DT. Crazy. Like all of these guys, they were all from where we were from. This was
on a Friday and Saturday night.
Also, by the
Sunday
way,
morning.
Also, by the way, to be fair, obviously, house and all of that, garage and that all comes from Chicago and stuff, yeah. But still, it's our thing, though. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? It's our, we took it.
Hold on. Do that.
He's been saying it.
I've been saying that.
I know, but you can't. But then now it's weird because it's like I can say for the younger generation that wore Lot 29,
right? It's
their thing because they didn't watch Americans wear Lot 29. They saw Dizzy Rascal and Wiley wearing Lot 29. So even if it derives from America, what they're doing is English within it. So yes. I imagine the same for the people that heard House in Chicago.
Yeah.
They would have come and brought it over here, and then the people that loved House over here would have loved it from the English people.
Yeah.
But it's the same journey. Same journey.
I hear you still. But yeah, and even like going to jungle and that, one of the reasons why we like jungle so much is because of the dancehall flips that was in it, the ragga flips that was in it.
True.
Bury them, that's in that. It was our thing. That was what they did. Do you get what I'm saying? And then obviously as generations move on and times change and whatever, and then what happens in the house is different. But I just think it's interesting to understand and to see somebody who is, let's say, 26 years old, yeah, who has a youth, like what gets played in the house. You can't necessarily expect that it's going to be the same as what it was for when we was, because the times have changed. But then also we look at like cooking. This was part of the conversation we had before. When at a certain point in the house, depending on where you were coming from, as a Caribbean, I know what was getting cooked in the house on a regular basis. Also, to me, it's quite important that I understand elements of that, and that is around me, innit? But though, again, some people's grandmother was born here, which means that some people's mums was also born here, and then now you're like that generation, like your great grandparent was Jamaican, so that now may not necessarily be the same naturally. What's in your yard is more fish and chips Friday. You know what I'm saying? That's more of a thing for you.
In Jamaica, all of Jamaica, they don't cook on a Friday. So have your fish and chips on a Friday.
Fish Friday.
Fish Friday.
But
that's why my personal experience was skewed, because my great grand's still alive and she's from Jamaica and she's here.
Right.
So I still had that. Then my gran still had that influence.
So was your gran born here?
No, in my gran, yeah. My great gran was born in Jamaica.
Right,
same thing that you said, but she's still here and she's still alive to this day. By the grace of God.
Shout her out, man.
Yeah.
So that meant we still had the Sundays.
It was trickling down. Trickling down. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My mum still had it that way, but then she still had her garage and the other sounds.
Okay, so that's what you come right.
So on my Sunday,
yes,
you get me. The reggae's still running and it's the right way. However, the garage was definitely running on the Saturday.
That's Sunday.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, so see, like with the element of, can you cook?
I'm terrible.
All right,
but I can. Like, it's edible.
You just won't invite nobody around.
Yeah,
wait. You're just not gonna poison anyone.
Yeah, no. It's
it's the same way I wouldn't recommend this food to anyone.
No,
I noticed you are a man who, like, when the food comes, you're eating, bro. That fork's been in there for time.
Yeah. Listen, look how long mine's been on the side, just chilling with a fork on top.
Wait.
It's a grave.
He asked me if it was good, and I was like, I've never ordered from there before.
But you know what? I know now. Life's all about information. Sorry, Chuckie, carry on.
So, what's interesting? Like, what do you see? Like when you're just getting ready and that, or whatever. What are you listening to?
It can be anything. I listen to such a variety of music that today I was listening to Latino music, or whatever you want to call it. So I was listening to that. Yesterday, I was listening to R&B. At another point in the week, it could be house.
Right.
Like, it's just very dependent on my mood. I'm very mood-based, but the genres can span between anything.
So this is interesting also, yeah. So now, like, over time, we've just been open up to a lot of different genres and a lot of different things or whatnot, because things are a bit more multicultural. Huh? Yeah, no, I was thinking that as I was saying it. So, you know what the man is serious? I couldn't figure out a thing quick enough. So I was hoping that I was hoping it was going to pass.
No, I want to know.
I'm sorry. He's having a serious convo there, man. Go on.
But yeah, so like it's multicultural, like we're seeing things like in regards to music styles and whatever, yeah. Whereas at a certain point, it wasn't even really so much like that, innit? It was just kind of like, this is just what we listen to, kinda. Like my dad. So for example, my mum and my dad reggae head. My mum's super reggae head as well, yeah. But my mum was also a soul head. My dad wasn't so much of a soul head like that, but my mum was a soul head. So it was just, there was only a couple of different things. But now, because we are privy to a lot more stuff that's going on in the world, that some of those may not necessarily be influences to us, but we just hear them. And if you're a music person, you just kind of lean to what feels good, innit? Like there's certain tunes that I hear, and I'm like, this ain't really me, but I might hear a Sabrina Carpenter, and I'm like, she's not my thing, but there's something about this tune. Or I might hear this Italian tune, and I'm like, I don't know what these men are saying, but this is alright still.
But the feeling's there, innit?
Yeah, so it's like now, what then happens is, you see, like when you have youths, this is what I'm just guessing, is that all of that multiculturalism that you listen to in music, you're going to be a wide range of music or whatever, it trickles down to them, and then it's like more the same thing. But then this is not a wrong thing, by the way. I'm just saying a process is that the more that happens, the more that you lean away from the authenticity of what that first thing was. Do you get what I'm saying? Unless you have like a natural, not even a natural, but let's just say you've always been brought back to where you come from, then you're always going to still be, you're still going to have a certain love for that. Do you get what I'm saying?
But that's why, sorry, I've got to pause you there. That's why the 3 minute 30 second situation is very important. If any product today, they try to live past the moments that you have it. So like Sky Sports, once the game's done, they have various things for you to do until the next game the following day. There'll be apps, there'll be YouTube videos, there'll be arguments, all of these things to keep you engaged. That's what culture does, just unapologetically without even thinking. So you're saying because of the different types of music, but in the type of music that you should be listening to, they'll speak about the food that you're going to eat, and that's going to be on the table every single day if it's right. The environments and the people that they're going to have in the family, they'll speak about. Everything they'll speak about within the music that is for us, you will go through. So no matter what, although your journeys might take you sonically in other places, essentially it will have so much of who you are in it, purely because the music that we give you, it has purpose, it has meaning, it has God, it has all of these things. It's not like, no disrespect, Italian or Latino music where we don't know what the fuck these niggas are talking about. We don't know. We do like the sonics, we like the way it makes us feel, but it stops there. When you listen to Beres Hammond or something like that, it's a deeper thing. Buju Banton, it's a deeper thing.
But is it for
the new
that
generation?
Yeah, is it? Do they still see it the same?
Oh, it depends on the household they're in. Like with me, I wasn't born when Buju Banton was doing his thing, but the household I'm in. When he's doing that work, like wasn't.
You're talking about maybe like you might be talking 80s. As far as Beres and them, but Beres was still. It wasn't different, but
Beres is 60 something. So when he was, there's no way I could have been.
We wasn't outside. We wasn't outside, but it was getting played though.
No, I was alive. I wasn't outside that.
That's what I mean.
Sorry, apologies. Yeah, but when my dad did play it and I did hear the music, it was still very relatable to me, despite the fact that I didn't grow up and I didn't rave in a time, because of the things that they're speaking about is not too far removed from my experiences. And that's the good thing about culture. It repeats, it's repetition. Every Sunday we have rice and peas and chicken. Every Friday my mum's still not cooking to this day. There are things that are repeated within culture, and the music is repeated through different artists. The same principles are repeated. So I don't think some of the things that Buju's saying is any different to what Miss Dynamite was saying when I was playing FIFA. No. So that's the reasons why I'm like, bro, stay within that musical genre. And then the things outside of the music, I think you're cool when it comes to culture. You'll always have a deeper understanding, because culture to you like isn't what it is to them people. 3 minutes 30 seconds. Ooh.
I'm just curious to see how, let's say, an 18-year-old who his lineage goes to Jamaica, but let's just say his grandparent was born here, how they would see, that 18-year-old would see a Beres.
I don't have an 18-year-old example, but I have a 20-year-old example. My little cousin, he came round and Beres was playing and he was singing it. But
Right,
again,
okay.
it depends on, I guess, your environment.
Yes.
But obviously, he's from I call him cousin. He's not actually directly my cousin. He's my brother's cousin, but my half-brother. I don't say half-brother because he's my
Yeah, of course, yeah,
so
cousin.
regardless, you know how it is.
Yeah,
That's
of
my
course.
cousin. But my brother's Jamaican side is very Jamaican. You don't get more Jamaican
Okay,
than
there
them.
you go.
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
I
So
love that.
the environment that he grew up in, that's running.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From young, from knee high, it's running. So when he's singing it, I'm like, bro, yeah, well, you know these ones. He's like, come on, Buzz, you know I know
Yeah, of
these.
course,
Like,
yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
He grew up in
He
that,
grew up
essentially,
in that
so-
But
environment.
Shaq,
so-
watch this though. Another thing respected in culture, our culture, and other cultures, Italian culture, is the hierarchy of the adult. So if Beres Hammond is the adult within this musical chain, and Pop can't sit down next to him and say this is the king, then everybody's just gonna follow suit because we understand that's the. Do you know where I'm coming from? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
And I think
Because
that's,
we see the way that we idolize him, or they might idealize Popcorn, but when they see Popcorn with him, they're saying, "Oh, what? This is your
You're the
guy."
father.
Okay, so
Right,
naturally, he must be the guy then.
and then you go to grime, everyone says D double.
Yes, 100%.
So I like culture because it has a recognition of the past and it understands that in order to move forward, you need to know the past. Whereas in commercial culture and other things like that, I get it. It's capitalist culture. Oh, that's old.
Yeah.
Oh, that's old. That's sold yesterday. That's sold 2021 or whatever they say. I'm just like, cuz, trust me, dog. Without some of the things of the past, you can't move forward. So
Naturally.
and it's funny, interesting what you said as well about your family dynamic. My family dynamic, I'm only realizing how crazy it is now.
Oh,
My
really?
grandma and that man had 7 kids. 4 of them, I think, 4 of them are born in Jamaica. 3 of them are born here. It's only now I see the differences so distinctively.
Right,
It's
right.
mad,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
The consistency shown from the people born in Jamaica to the lack of consistency to the people not shown in Jamaica, not born in Jamaica. The things that the Jamaicans are born there value in comparison to the individuals not born. Like even if one valued finance and the other valued finance, it's for 2 separate reasons.
Yeah.
So without going into the dynamics of it too much, because I watch this and cuss me, I won't listen to you, like, you know that, but you'll cuss me. One person values finance for the perspective of being a helper and helping everyone, and another person respects finance just purely for themselves. And when you look at it, you're like, right, the Jamaican just want to help everybody, and you just want to help yourself. And it's just like, again, do you know where I'm coming from? So
The only
that's
thing is, that is true, but to a point, no.
Okay.
You give some of them some money and you can't see
Has
them
gone.
again.
Yeah.
Hey, that's no. Imagine that's what I'm talking
Again.
about. That one person
And
that's
also-
got money.
Also, not all of them,
Not all of
but
them.
sometimes, when they get some money now, especially, you see certain Jamaicans, that leave Jamaica and then do all right somewhere else. When they come back, sometimes some of them think that they're better than
Oh
everyone
yeah,
can't chat to them.
flexy.
And
What?
yeah,
Sexy.
exactly.
Them sexy.
Yeah, they move mad.
Can't chat
sexy.
to me again.
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
And the is they move like they know so much. Well, I hate some of these Jamaicans. Boy, you have to understand that it's very difficult to move from this place and set up shop. Stop telling us the backstory, big man. Just let's have a good time. But yeah, I like culture. I love culture.
Yeah.
It's the imperfections, all of that. And I think even going right back to the start of the conversation, if a lot more people understood where Elijah was coming from a cultural standpoint, they would know the next step. But because they're looking at it from, I guess, from a business standpoint, there's only one step.
And these lot wouldn't allow me to talk about the album cover. They told me to leave it at mute the name.
No.
Mute the name.
That was
Cold.
That was
cold. No, I rate it though.
was
I do have to
silencer.
rate it though, because he comes. Whoa,
Oh God.
man got shot, and I was like, don't even call the ambulance.
Do you think that the responsibility is from the top down, or do you think, for example, like cultured individuals like yourselves, do you think it's also on you to?
So what, to pass that down?
This is what grandma showed me, and I know that grandma ain't there for you, dog. So hold that.
Can we close it on this part though? Just want to move on, but
Yeah, of course. To be honest with you, I'm not one of them black youths that's close to their grandma, so I don't know.
It's
I don't
an
chat to her,
example.
and the other one died a year into me living.
But it's an example, is my point.
No, I hear you, but I'm saying to you, I'm not maybe the right person. Maybe our Shaq.
From mum. Then.
Is it okay?
Do you
That I
want me to
don't
go? I
know?
can go.
Yeah, go, Charles.
So, I wouldn't say because I was close with my both of my grandparents. In fact, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that things that I was around with them are important for me to like show young youths or my kids or anything like that. Not anything specific because they didn't. It's not like my grandmother taught me how to cook. She didn't teach me how to do none of that. I was
like
just
musically. Sorry, I was talking like.
So even with
that
music,
aspect,
but I'm going to get to a point, even with music and stuff like that. However, though, I feel like I'm so connected to that side through my grandparents and through my parents, yeah, and I love it. That's the other part. It's not even just that I'm so connected to it. I genuinely love it. I listen to reggae music all the time. You know what? I might take this out in a bit, but I got a phone call recently where that I was asked to go and have a conversation with. Because they was like, oh, you like reggae music? Would you like to go on David Rodigan's show and discuss reggae music? Could you do that? I was like,
What?
Could I do that? Of course I could. I could sit and discuss this all day. I could do it all day. But that's because
Wait, have you done it already?
No, I'm doing it soon. I'm doing it soon.
That's massive, by the way. That's massive, bro.
But
Don't just say it and be casual like that. I hate you.
yeah, no, I'm
Like,
just
that
trying to
is
make a point. I'm just trying to make a point.
Yeah, but make a point this time. We like it, dog. We like that.
The point that I'm making is that through that, like, I love it. I love that part of where I come from, yeah. And so I fully embrace it. And so for me, because of how much I love it and the parts of that I've been around, I like to talk about it and I like to share it. You know what I mean? And like, if I ever did have children one day, it would be important for me to show elements of that because I know that what their environment is going to be around is very different. But I just want them to see that this is where your dad come from, your parents or whatever. So I need them to see that. I need them to go over there at some point and be around that. And yeah, but yeah, man.
Maybe we all just need exposure more to where we come from to make us understand where we're going a little bit more. Maybe the distance between your original homeland and where you are currently, if it stays consistent for years and years and years and years, maybe you're watering down yourself and you don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just over time, that's just going to happen anyway. It's like, there's an argument to say that whatever was going on in Jamaica in the 1970s was completely different to how it was in the 1820s.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And like whatever they were doing, whatever the culture was like then, would have been different. And musically and stylistically and all kinds of stuff.
But it's a different set of responsibilities.
100%.
And that's all life is all about, man. Your responsibilities and how you take them on. And if you have a different set of responsibilities, therefore you have to shift. As long as the common goal is the same, I'm good with that, man. It's when you have a different set of instructions, but you have the same responsibility and you've neglected that to do something else. But anyway, man, enough about that, man. Shout out Via Coco.
Just the one, as we're here though, Vybz Cartel.
Yes.
Yeah, he talked about bleaching. And you know what? It's funny.
Why are you smirking like that?
Do you know why? Because I remember I had a phone call where someone had asked, would you be potentially down to have Vybz Cartel on a pod? Yeah. I was like if he came on the bro. But anyway, they wanted us. Forward. It was going to be, why for that stuff. But if it was going to happen, I think it was going to be over the phone. It wasn't just weren't going to happen in it, yeah. But if you could get him on a Friday recording, crazy. But though, that was something that I wanted to have a conversation about.
Of course.
As soon as that looked like that could potentially be a thing, I thought, what are the conversations that we could have? And I thought, we need to have a conversation about that because I'm curious to understand where his head is with it now. And it was good to see him talking about that because I remember, bro, going to Jamaica at one time, yeah? And, bro, when I got to Jamaica, Cartel had such a hold. I mean, he still does, yeah? But he had such a hold on what was going on in the communities in Jamaica and elements of it, yeah? Where, like, this bleaching thing was just, it almost felt like it was normal. And it was weird to me. And I know that he was masking it a lot by saying, like the tattoos, like, when you have a lighter skin, you can see the tattoos and all of that, but you can see that there was a problem with that, and it was dividing Jamaica, in fact, because
100%.
obviously you got enough youths that are looking at that and they're saying, yeah, cool, this is what I want to do, blah, 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 whatever, and you're having another section of people, especially in Jamaica, that are looking at that and saying, this is absolutely crazy. Like, what are you lot doing? And it's like, the bigger point is that these things happen in African countries. These things, there's a which I was even talking about, even in China, you got these creams that you can use, and their skin's already light, but they're trying to get as light as, you know what I'm saying?
Disappear.
I don't know, but I did.
Man's trying to be transparent.
I ain't got a takeaway from it, because I didn't watch the whole lot, but I did like the fact that he was talking from a much maturer place with that, and also just deep diving into his mindset at the time of doing that, because he that was one thing he mentioned. He said a lot of that was coming from an element of self-hate that I didn't even know I had.
Madness.
He's like, I didn't know that. In my mind, it's just, I'm doing this because I want my tattoos to show. But that's a self-hate thing. For me to lighten up my skin and do this so I could look like who? These lot. That's mental.
Do you know what? Man, if I really take that in, if you know Vybz Kartel's are a real bad man, really hard man, and he can tell you at one point in his life, he done things with conviction that we all saw, and today he goes, maybe that wasn't the right move. It makes you self-reflect on yourself right here, right now. Because that was all ego. The ego said to him, yo, the tattoos, this, that, and the third, trying to deflect and cut through. No, big man, self-hate. SH.
The bits.
Self-hate.
Look at his, see there on the right? That's the natural Cartel skin that there, you see.
Hey, also, shout out Ebru though.
Yeah, big up Ebru.
Because I didn't think he would ask certain types of questions.
Oh, yeah.
He don't give a
Nah.
damn. He's never given a damn, but I always think sometimes with some people, he's consistent. From Kodak Black walking off to this, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, he don't. He's been around for a really long time, and you're not going to pull the wool over his eyes, really. He ain't always right. He's definitely not always right, but he is someone who will have the conversation still. So yeah, big him up.
Big up Ebru, man. Big up Ebru.
And maybe this isn't for the pod so much here, but I have to discuss this. The KERI HILSON thing, blood.
What happened, please? Because, so can you just like tee it up for us so we know what we're speaking about?
KERI HILSON, singer-songwriter. If you go and check her credits, she's written for everyone.
Everybody.
She's the coldest with it, yeah.
And she's beautiful.
She's insanely beautiful. She was signed to Polo the Don, who's a producer, as well as
Polo the Don.
Yeah. Yeah, and Timberland. They're like a joint
He
venture. He
is old school.
Yeah, trust me. And Polo the Don as well was a producer who just had a moment where he was producing for everyone. He was doing all kinds of stuff, whatever, yeah. So anyway now, KERI HILSON was on the absolute ascendancy. Now, just for context, it's always very difficult for a writer, someone who's known for their pen to be really good and write for other artists, to come out and do their own thing and have their own careers.
Not again.
But she was then having that. She was actually just doing her thing. Anyways, this record came out one time. I remember this. She had the song. What was the song again? It wasn't Knock You. Was it Knock You Down?
Knock You Down was a big song. What, this record?
No, it was Turning Me On. That's the
Turning
song.
Me On was much
Turning
too.
Me On, yeah. This is what Turning Me
Lil
On
Wayne.
sounds like, by the way. Yeah.
The music video, there was a white backdrop.
It's this.
Hey,
The production of this is crazy as well.
Brother,
This is
the
Polo the Don.
production is crazy. I hate his glasses though, and I hate his cap. Apart from
What's
that,
it? What's it?
right.
Fly as hell, swagger eyebrows, keep popping, you know just how to talk to me, know just how I like it. You're turning me out, you're turning me out,
What's it?
you're turning me out. Now wait a minute, little pussy, you got one more time to feel on my booty, better recognize the lick.
Brother, she was going crazy on this thing.
That beat is
This
But no.
tune's flying as well.
No, that wasn't. It was Knock You Down was flying.
Yeah, Knock You Down was flying. But
Knock You Down was
this
cool.
was doing its thing.
Of course, Lil Wayne went crazy.
So anyway now, all of a sudden this tune comes out, yeah, the remix, and she's like going at Beyonce. You could
What,
tell
in the
she's gonna
remix
go-
of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know this.
She's
I
gonna-
didn't
yeah,
know.
she's gonna-
I knew she was cuss Beyonce, but I thought it was on something else. I thought it was on my next rhythm.
So anyway, it's like, hold on a minute. It was obviously a bit brave and brazen, innit? It's like, rah, this is a bit mad. But remember, Beyonce now is scorching hot. She's doing a madness, yeah? And the beehive was beehiving.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
What are you talking about? You're just stepping out of place and doing all of that. Anyway, it just got really weird for KERI, and she just was never really able to come back from that. And I know that a lot of people, when you talked about KERI Hilson, you'd say, oh yeah, like super talented or whatever. But she the one who this Beyonce or whatever. So anyway, she's been off the scene for time. And she's come back, and she actually, what's so mad about this? She actually discussed this a few years ago. But in being back outside,
I'm watching.
She's been teasing these things on her Instagram where it's her versus her. So it's her talking to herself, yeah. And one you can see is KERI, the woman, and then the other is the artist. And she's just like saying how they're both just saying how they feel. It's quite cool, and it's sick the way that it's done, yeah. Anyway, in this interview with Breakfast Club, they ask her about that, and then she says, basically, what actually happened was, yeah, Polo was saying to her, listen, we need to do a remix of this thing. And she was like, yeah, cool. So she was trying to come up with all these different concepts and whatnot. But at the time she was on the road, she was doing a bunch of different shows and whatever else, yeah. So anyway now, when she's come to the studio, Polo's basically said to her, this is what I need you to do. So it was already written. She said she heard it. She said, I ain't doing that. She's like, I ain't doing that. But he's now on... She's trying to be graceful with it. She's trying to just say, I'm saying I don't want to do it, but he's being a bit... she's trying to find different words just to soften it a little bit, yeah? But alluding to the fact that he's on a vibe of, listen, if you don't do this, this ain't coming out, the album ain't coming out, this ain't this ain't that, blah, 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 blah. And then she's saying to him, what is the verses ain't even on topic. The song's called Turning Me On. It's about a man turning me on. How are we making this about a woman? But he's adamant that she has to do it. So in the end, what it seems like happened is the agreement was that she would record it, they would figure out what to do with it, but she was like, I would need to change some words. And we need to make it at least for a woman talking about a man. Do you get what I'm saying? He's like, cool, look, just go in there, just voice it, and we'll just have it there and we'll figure out what we're going to do with it. She voiced it 2 days later.
2 days?
2 days later. Outside, boom, this, that. She's dissing Beyonce, it's crazy, mad, whatever, yeah? So now, what's more mad about it now is obviously the consensus is she's dissing Beyonce, innit? But in that time, it was an artist called, one second. Who did they say? 1 second. She's a writer herself. Yeah, Esther Dean. It was Esther Dean that actually wrote it, yeah. Now, while she's holding all of this corn, Polo then works with Beyonce. Timbaland's obviously done some stuff with Beyonce. Esther's written for Beyonce.
Hey.
These times now it's just looking like KERI's done all of this thing on her own. Do you get what I'm saying? So anyway,
KERI ain't done nothing apart from just vocal something she got instructed to do.
Yeah. And also, you know what? Where I hear her is that Chucky's young. She's in her early 20s, yeah? She wants her album out. Every artist wants their album out. This guy is the one who's turning around and saying, listen, there ain't nothing coming out now unless you do this. So anyway now, what was even more mad is she's talked about it. Then when Esther's come up, she's basically just said, oh yeah, like she put, like, I'm sorry for my part in it. I co-wrote it with KERI. KERI had to say, listen, I wasn't going to come and start doing this stuff in the comments, you know. I wasn't going to do all of that. But since you've tried to paint this on some co-writing thing, these were the bars that I wrote. These ones. So she's written the bars that she's written or whatever. And she's basically like, you know what? You were better off just not saying anything. You lot had me out here looking crazy, man. To now come out and turn around and paint it now as if we co-wrote it together. Just sit in your yard and close the door. Just sit in your yard and close the door. Do you get what I'm saying?
Don't surprise me though that people don't take accountability for carry on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, I think like when I watched her talking about it, and I know how talented KERI is, it made me feel really sorry for her, you know, because KERI is cold.
She's so beautiful.
And for the fact that she hasn't been outside for 10 whole years because this thing actually really hindered her career is mad. And it wasn't something she wanted to do. And she's actually right. All of that wasn't on topic. It wasn't on topic. The song is about a woman being turned on by a man. How are we making this about Beyonce?
You know how I know she was peak? Because that song, I swear that song, My Name is KERI.
Yeah.
Man flung that out the other day just to fling it out for some reason. The
Gal
dance went
crazy.
mental.
They used to love that tune there.
What?
Remember, KERI Hilson's got these eyes that will make anything. I'm talking chocolate is melting in the snow. It's crazy. So when you see her face and she presents whatever she presents, there's an innocence and a, I don't know, man. There's a real. I used to love KERI Hilson, boy. Big fan of KERI Hilson. But when that Beyonce disc came out, I can't lie, I dropped her out as well.
Yeah, no, I was like, what? Why
What
is she
you
doing
doing?
that?
You
That's
doing?
weird. Like,
Mad.
you know, it's like, because it's
Beyonce's
like,
my nigga,
you know,
man. What you doing?
Yeah, and also it's like, in my mind at the time, it's like, why are you doing? You don't need to do that.
It was,
Like, that's
it was
weird.
out of character for KERI Hilson. It was like, that's not how I viewed her. I've got her first album. I was like, this album's cold, bro. I didn't understand how that played into her. Like, if Kelly's done that at the time,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
It's a bit
this gal
different,
is crazy. And do you know what? I might have liked it. I might have rated it.
Yeah.
But that's not, it was just not KERI Hilson. She was just that innocent girl that just got...
Just a writer, cold gal,
Cold
from the
writer.
way that was just doing her thing. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, man, which also made me think, like, gosh, the amount of artists, that have been put in these scenarios where they feel like they have to do something that they really, really don't want to do, but their art is on the line, and you know what? Some of them might even make a compromise. I don't want to do this, but if I am gonna do this, just allow it to be this way then. And a person turns around and says, "All right, cool." Then you go and do it, and then the complete opposite happens.
Can I ask you a question? Did they do it to kill KERI Hilson?
I don't know. And she did say in the interview, she's like, because they were like, "Have you spoken to Timbaland about it? Like, what did Timbaland say?" She was like, "I don't know. I think like Timbaland just kind of just went with the flow of what was going on, but she hasn't spoken to Timbaland about it at all. So she ain't spoken." She was like, "I would love to know what he thinks about that now." And yeah, and even with the Beyonce, she said like she saw Beyonce one time shortly after it happened. Yeah, Beyonce like was on a G-checking thing, lightly though, not on a like. It was more like a Beyonce's seen her, approached her and said, "Hi, I'm B." And KERI was like, "Hi," and she was like, "Yeah, cool." Like on a vibe of like, you get what I'm saying? And it just let.
Rightly so, though, because she's just minding her business, eating her food at 7:34.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, KERI Hilson won. What?
Yeah.
In my eardrum. I'm B.
Yeah,
And don't let the beehive come.
I'm telling you,
And I was part of the beehive.
to bits. And I'm sure
left out,
Beyonce would have been looking at her at this point of like looking at her as if to say like, firstly, understand that I'm me.
Trust me. I've been there since
Difference.
96.
I'm me. You can't chat to me, you know. Like, is that what you think you're doing? Like, she ain't said it, but she's saying it.
Right, she's saying it.
Like, but also on a vibe of, you ain't been around me, so I need you to understand this presence. Hi, I'm B.
I'm big. The not's important. The not's
Because you know what it is? When
And now
KERI
you can't just, sorry, Poe, you can't just turn around and say, "Oh, but it wasn't me, and I don't know what." You're just having to firm that.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm definitely saying, would you like to have a conversation? Because I can say a letter as well. I'm P.
He would say something sassy and then make it a whole next thing.
I'm a Jamaican woman at heart. I told you niggas this.
I can say letters as well. I'm P.
Look, BP. Now that we're gassed up, we got a little convo. Because you know what it is? I've just not to divulge too much. I've never liked that. I've never liked that fact that you think you can share a bit of information, keep the rest in your head and walk off. No, sir. You want to walk up to me and move bad. What you got to say? Because if you can't tell me the full story, you keep the headline, big man. This ain't Twitter. I read like this. Try to tweet me and walk off. Your backside.
She's Chris though.
She brought up.
I saw her on her stories. What was this last year? She was sitting in a car, I think, and she was singing "Brown Sugar" by D'Angelo. But do you know how much times I watched it?
I had to unfollow her.
Listen, I got damp in the pants watching that.
I've been there.
Why?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kerry.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize.
She
It's Kerri Hilson.
man, I just kept watching it over and over. And over. You know when somebody is just so subtly good? Like, she weren't trying to do the bad thing. She was just sitting in the car, just doing little harmony.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'd fall in love with her.
At the time, were you KERI Hilson or Christina Milian?
KERI Hilson all
KERI
day,
Hilson
bro.
to bits.
Christina Milian.
What in terms of appearance as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, KERI Hilson to bits.
KERI Hilson was a classy woman, you know. She was a writer. On top of she was a boss.
Look at that one.
Look at her eyes, bro. Look at her face.
Christina Milian?
Look at this. Christina Milian was a picky
Christina
that was with.
was Chris though, but
Yeah, but she
if I was
wasn't-
picking between the two of them,
KERI,
it's
man.
definitely KERI.
And don't
with
get it
no
twisted.
question of a doubt. In fact,
Christina Milian is beautiful,
yeah, she's Chris.
She is Chris, but
Yeah, she's cold.
but it's not KERI.
But it isn't KERI. Yeah, she's clean and
And do you know what
tidy.
made it worse for me as well, yeah? I was harsh at these times, super harsh when it came to music. So KERI Hilson to me was an exceptional talent.
Yeah.
Shout out,
yeah.
shout out Christina Milian. She had Getaway, and she did.
Oh, I loved Getaway.
Banger.
Yeah, that was
And then
a
she
rhythm
got away, and then she was taking like songs from like. She was giving like songs to J-Lo like AM to PM, not AM to PM. She gave a song to J-Lo play, and I was like, babe, you should have kept that song for yourself. Like, what are you doing out here giving people tunes? And so Christina Milian to me was a mess.
I didn't even look at short hair until KERI Hilson. Yeah.
Serious?
Like I was young. Obviously, I was like probably younger than you guys. Obviously, but
Oh, you're doing that stuff.
oh my goodness, this was
Don't worry, I'll get you back.
Yeah, I'm banking that one.
Oh yeah.
oh,
So
come on, bro. How much do I have in the bank?
Yeah.
do you?
All right. Well, listen. Boom, bang, bing. That's me for today. That's me.
Is it? That's a lot.
What was I gonna say?
You've done a lot, man.
Huh?
You said it.
Yeah, we did a lot.
3 or 6.
And that first part was really good, actually. I think that was a good conversation. The price of eggs have gone up again. I do know.
What?
That. Yeah.
It's so mad. My baby mum just texted me, make sure you get eggs for the kids now. I'm going to tell her I have £7.34.
got up now.
It's too short.
Yeah, exactly. You know when you put in the group the other day, we was talking about shopping and that, like,
Brother.
like £50 not getting you very much. Let me tell you something. You see, in recent times, I've turned into a club card king.
Oh, you got a club card?
No,
What?
you have to have a club card.
I'm getting a club card. This is
I
mad.
got a Tesco's club card.
What?
I need one.
It's in the wallet, dog.
Yeah, it's in the wallet.
The Whoa.
Yeah.
Man.
I got a Morrison's joint
I
as
need
well.
that, man. You got a what?
I got a Morrison's joint
You
too.
got a
'cause
little
those are the
Murray?
two. Yeah, those are the two. And I got a Boots one.
A Boots?
I got Boots,
You got British Airways tickets
Morrison's,
there too.
and
British
Tesco.
Airways. Mileage is
I saw
crazy.
it.
What's
Come
that?
on.
I saw the British Airways tickets.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Couple travels. You know what I'm saying?
No, them things are important. Even Body Shop, I'll be getting my % off.
Yeah.
Quick. What?
Do you know what it is though, yeah?
My only problem with the Tesco's club card is that sometimes I'm thinking, yeah, I'm club carding this to bits.
Yeah, but this-
Then I go and tap the thing. Please tap your club card. I tap it. No, go on.
75 pence.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but let me tell you something.
That
bro.
stinks.
Should I tell you something that I
That
realised that
stinks.
bumps me on Tesco? If you go on a club card app, yeah, for your points, they give you coupons, but the coupons don't show up on your Apple Pay wallet thing. But the coupons also expire over time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it happens
Yeah.
to me on certain things.
So if
on
you,
a lot
if
of
you
stuff.
go on your club card app,
It
and
won't tell you that the coupon's
you
there.
would have to find the coupon.
How do I activate the coupon?
You click it, you just click on it and you use it.
Oh, that's a pussy. So I could only do that by it telling me, by me looking at it.
Yes.
Yes. Alright, see, do you know what
That's
happens
a
on
bum.
Uber Eats, yeah?
£2.
When you do like, you order a lot of Uber Eats, they give you all of these voucher things, yeah?
Yeah.
But I didn't know. So one day I've just gone and started snooping around the app, look down. I seen about 15 expired vouchers. I said,
Oh no.
but I'm being dead serious with you. I was like, what? So they couldn't give you a little text or tweet or...
No.
I didn't even know that you could get vouchers on
Yeah.
on Uber Eats.
So
and that.
like if you, where is it?
Oh, that's mad. I didn't know that.
See, even then it just signs me out. That's your thing.
All right then. Well, yeah. Anything else on the menu quickly? That's
eggs.
important. Anything that is important? We'll discuss this gigs thing another day. Yeah, that's it from me. That's it from me.
Everybody,
Anything from you?
live show, you done know.
Of course.
Gotta
What
come
date
to
is
live
that?
show, 8th of May over there
What day does that fall on?
on a Thursday.
Strongly.
It's the new Friday.
It's a bit.
I feel like you should come out. You should celebrate, and
Come
you should be
on.
happy, man. Do you know where I'm coming from? The sun's out today. It's a Friday when we recorded it. It's a
Sun's
Sunday
out.
when you're listening.
Sun's
If you're watching, it's a Saturday. If you're listening to the audio, I remember one thing as we leave, man. This was the best thing you done today.
I'm telling you, strongly.
God bless.
Yeah, man. Honourable shout out to anyone who might have listened to this at 7:34 as well.
Come on.
Future kids. Man.